Hello and welcome again to Chris's Caribbean Delights. And tonight I'm going to make a shepherd's pie. A shepherd's pie is usually done with lamb, ground lamb, or but if you're going to use beef, it's called a cottage pie. Okay, so I'm going to do a cottage pie, a simple cottage pie, because I'm going to use beef. Okay, but that's the difference between the shepherd's pie is done with lamb, ground lamb. The cottage pie is done with beef, but we still call it a shepherd's pie because that's the most popular one. Anyway, so it's going to be simple and delicious, and we're going to have that topping, that mashed potato topping, which is going to be baked and be golden and crisp, and you'll have a lovely finish. So let's go to those ingredients and let's get our shepherd's pie started. So here we are, guys. Here are the ingredients for the shepherd's pie. You have some celery. I diced some celery. Lots of vegetables are going to go into this dish. I have frozen peas, frozen green peas here. I have diced carrots, 2 diced carrots, 2 whole carrots that are diced up, 1 whole onion. I have 2 stalks of green onion here. I have here some cilantro, and like 2 tablespoons of cilantro. I have some thyme here, and I have obviously some garlic that's minced garlic. Over here I have some rosemary, right there, and then we have to have some tomato paste. This is tomato paste. All measurements are going to be in the description box below. You need some flour to make that to thicken that the sauce once you're doing it. And I have here beef broth. You need some beef broth, you need some Worcestershire sauce, and you need some oil. Okay, you need about 2 tablespoons of oil, which we're going to put right now into our our skillet, and let that heat up for a little bit. And then we're going to start by sauteing the onions and the carrots and get the vegetables going. Whilst our oil is heating up, let's talk about the potatoes. You know it's going to be covered with mashed potatoes. So these are the ingredients for the mashed potatoes. I have some butter, milk, I have some heavy cream, I have some pepper, some salt, garlic powder, and some white pepper, ground white pepper. I have some Parmesan, so not Parmesan, this is cheddar. So I have some cheddar cheese there. And I have my potatoes here, which I'm going to cut in unique, they should all be the same size so that they can cook evenly and at the same time. So I have like 3 pounds of potatoes here, which I'm going to do. I may not need all of the crushed, but I just want to make sure I have enough. So mashed potatoes will go over the ground beef to make this cottage pie or shepherd's pie. The more popular name is shepherd's pie, so we'll go with shepherd's pie. So let's get our onions in here, get them sauteing. So now that my onions are cooking pretty nicely here, I went in with some chicken bouillon powder. Flavor everything up. I'm going to go in with the carrots, and then we're going to give the carrots a couple of minutes to soften up before we put anything else in there. So just let the carrots go for a little. So we're going to go in with our aromatics. Get the green onions in there. Get the cilantro in there. Let's get the thyme in there. And the fragrance is fantastic. Awesome. Now let's get the celery in there. Celery goes in, and we'll let it go for a minute or so that the celery can soften up and do its thing. And we're sticking on the medium to high heat, so if nothing burns, medium all the way, okay? The bouillon powder is doing a fine job. We don't need anything else in there right now. Maybe until we put when we put the beef in there to cook, then we definitely will need to add some salt and some other seasonings. So salt, pepper, we'll get those in there. These are sweating nicely here. Let's get the garlic in there. I don't put the garlic in too early because I don't want it to burn. So I put it in like midway when some other stuff is in there, and it's not going to be direct. It's not going to get direct heat. So it's going to just be flavorful. And at this point, I want to add my beef. And we'll cook the beef until it's brown and incorporated with all the other veggies. So let's get the beef all crushed up. We still have some lumps, some chunks in there, so let's get it all worked. This is a good tool, very good tool for crushing ground meat. Does a very good job. At this point, you want to put our tomato paste in here, because we want this to cook also, and we also want it to get into the meat. So we put it in right now and just stir it on. If you think you need to raise your stove, raise your heat back to high, You can go ahead and do that, because as we keep putting stuff in here, it's going to lose heat. So, and you want to maintain that heat. So you have to manage your heat. So I'm going back to medium high. At this point, I'm going to just add some Himalayan sea salt. Just about a teaspoon. And that's because we put the beef in there. We'll need to season that beef and get it going. So now, we're going to do our flour. Just sprinkle the flour on the beef here. And you let that cook for a while. Just 2 tablespoons of flour. So we're going to thicken this sauce right now, because we have to put the beef broth in there, and that's going to get the sauce nice and thick. Well, let's cook this flour in here. And make sure that beef is coated with that flour. At this point, just put our frozen green beans in there and get those going. And our beef broth. One cup of beef broth, and we just let this simmer and come together. I just turned my stove down to medium. I'm going to let this sit on a low fire and just let it simmer. And that's all the ingredients we have to put in there. Give it another touch of salt there. We keep adding stuff, so. We can slap a cover on there just for a few minutes, but I'll be back. Let's get some Worcestershire sauce. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce in there. So now that our meat is soft and cooked and flavorful, we'll just set this aside and we'll work on our potatoes before we put this dish together and put it in the oven. It has to go into the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes once we're done. Once we're done making our mashed potatoes, and we put it into the casserole dish that we're going to use. So let's set this aside. So we try to make the potatoes unique, one size, so that they can cook evenly. and they can all cook at the same time. So I would usually just slice it in half, then turn it on the side and do quarters, like if you're dicing it. And they all just one size, and that's how I boil them. Cut them in the middle, turn them on the side, and give 2 cuts there. Well, all my potatoes are in, and I just have some salted water here, and this should take maybe about, let's say 10 minutes. But when you punch it with a fork and the fork goes right through, you know it's done. So we'll come back and test it in about 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so, and see how it's doing. Well guys, my potato has boiled. I've made my mashed potatoes, you know, with the cream, the butter, and in this recipe I added 2 egg yolks just to hold that together, hold everything together. Parmesan cheese, that helps it also. So, and that helps it to get the nice brown edges. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're just going to put our pie together now. And as you can see, I'm doing something a little different here. I'm putting a layer of mashed potatoes in the bottom of my dish. I'm putting a layer of potato in the bottom of my dish. And then I'm going to put my ground meat in the middle, and then we put another layer of potatoes on top, So I greased my pan, some non-stick spray, and then I laid a layer of potato on there. Okay. Try it and preheat your oven. I just turned my oven on, so by the time I'm finished with this, the oven is going to be ready. So let's get our pie filling into the casserole. So here we go. Just gonna put our filling in. Just level it off here. Level it nicely, and then we'll start putting the mashed potatoes on top. As my mom always did, just give it a little design. You take a fork, just take a fork and run it through lightly, or sometimes she would pipe it out of a piping bag with a star nozzle. That also could be done. But this is very simple and straightforward. You just want to give it a little design. Oops. It might not be. Okay. Looks kind of rustic and nice, all right? Looks kind of rustic. Cool. I like that. Okay, so into the oven, 350 for 20 to 25 minutes, and then we'll see how it comes out. So let's get it in the oven. Here we go. I think we'll do, well, 20 minutes we'll check it. We'll check it in 20 and we'll see how it's doing. And here's our finished product. It's nice and hot. It just came out of the oven. And as soon as it's cooled down, it will take a couple of hours to cool down. I'll cut into it and let you see what it looks like on the inside. Well, thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next clip.